My parents said, "You're the most trashy daughter we have." Everyone stared. I stood up and said, "Then stop calling me when you need money." Their faces fell. Everyone stopped breathing. My parents said, "You're the most trashy daughter we have." The words dropped like silverware in a quiet room. A few relatives tried to smile for the sake of the birthday candles, the string lights, the polite music. No one moved. Even the air seemed to pause like it didn't want to be caught taking sides. I stood up, my chair scraped the floor. One clean note, a blade across tile. "Then stop calling me when you need money." Faces fell. Breath stalled mid-chest. The music kept playing, something cheerful and wrong. "Hi everyone. My name is Zara, and I've learned that the people who taught me not to beg are the same people who beg in private. I'm 26, the daughter who stayed late to wash dishes, the one who sent rent when the business had a slow month, the one who got told to stand straighter, talk softer and never, ever remind anyone what I paid for." Mom blinked, lips rounding into a perfect O that could pass for surprise or offense, depending on who was watching. Dad's jaw worked like he was chewing a word he didn't want to swallow in public. My sister toyed with a ribbon on the gift table, as if this were just decor, like my life had been sprinkled on for color. I stayed very still. It's funny what a still body hears: the clink of a cousin's bracelet, the hum of the refrigerator, the tiny tremor in my sister's voice when she said, "You didn't have to say it like that," as if tone were the crime, not the history. The table smelled of citrus, cleaner and resentment. A half-eaten slice of cake sat near my plate. The fork stabbed upright like a flag. I watched Mom's eyes flick to my phone. She knew exactly what was in there. Transfer receipts with midnight timestamps, the quiet lifelines I'd sent, the emergencies I'd resolved because family doesn't need to ask twice. "Zara," Dad said, smoothing his napkin with slow, practiced calm, "there's no reason to embarrass us." The word he uses when he means me. I kept my voice low, the way you speak to a skittish animal. "I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm trying to retire from being useful only when it hurts." Silence moved through the room like a weather front. Auntie studied their tea. Uncles adjusted watches that weren't late. My sister finally met my eyes, and for a second I saw the girl who used to hold my hand crossing the street. Then she blinked it away. So I let the moment breathe. I let the music play, something bright over something broken. I let them all decide whether I was bluffing. And then, without sitting down, I placed my palm over my phone, opened the banking app, and hovered my thumb above paused transfers. No one spoke. No one stopped me. The screen glowed on my face like a small rising moon. My thumb lingered over the glowing button, pause, transfers. It was such a small phrase for what it meant. Years of late-night calls, whispered "help us just this once," and my silence that always turned into sending. I clicked it, the air shifted. Mom gasped, not loudly, but sharp enough that a few cousins lifted their heads. Dad's hand froze on his glass, the condensation dripping down onto his cuff. My sister's smile twitched like she couldn't decide whether to laugh or panic inside. I wasn't trembling. I expected to, but there was a calm like watching waves that once dragged you under finally pull back to sea. "Zara," Dad said, slow, cautious, "you're overreacting." "No," I replied. My voice, even I'm just done reacting, the room seemed to tilt. I noticed how the light from the chandelier bounced off the silverware, how the half-wilted roses in the centerpiece smelled faintly sour, how nobody, absolutely nobody defended me. That was the lesson, wasn't it? They wanted my silence when they insulted me, my money when they struggled, my absence when they celebrated. Mom finally spoke. Her words clipped. "You wouldn't let your own family suffer." I tilted my head, let her words hang, and answered softly, "You already decided I wasn't family." A cousin coughed into his napkin. Someone's phone buzzed and went unanswered. It felt like the entire table was sinking inch by inch under the weight of words. They couldn't rewind. I pushed my chair back further, stood taller. The room blurred at the edges, but my voice cut clear. "You called me trash. Trash doesn't fund you. Trash doesn't save you. Trash walks out," and with that, I turned toward the door, each step echoing like a verdict. The hallway outside the dining room felt colder, like the air itself had been waiting for me. My heels clicked against the marble, a rhythm steadier than my heartbeat behind me. I heard the shuffle of chairs, low murmurs, no apologies, just fear of what my silence would cost them. I paused at the door, fingers brushing the polished wood. Childhood memories flashed me running through this house with scraped knees, Mom's bracelets, clinking as she clapped me closer, Dad's laugh booming at the dinner table. How quick! Those echoes turned into debts, into guilt dressed up as love. My sister's voice called softly, "Zara, wait." I turned. Her eyes darted between me and our parents, who stayed seated stiff as carved stone. She wanted me to be the bridge again, the patch that made everything look whole. "I can't," I whispered, "not this time." Her lips parted, but no words came. For once, even she had nothing to defend them with. I opened the front door, the night air rushed in, cool and liberating outside, the street lights painted long shadows across the driveway. My car waited like an ally, quiet and ready. As I stepped into the dark, my phone buzzed a new message from Dad: "We'll talk when you calm down. Don't make this harder." I almost laughed. Calm down. I had never been clearer. I slid into the driver's seat, rested my hands on the wheel, and let myself breathe for the first time all evening. The house behind me glowed with warm light, but it felt like a stage set hollow, fragile, one storm away from collapsing. I put the car in drive, whispering to no one but myself, they'll miss me more in silence than they ever valued me in noise. The tires rolled forward, and for the first time, I didn't look back. The road stretched out empty and wet from an earlier rain. Street lights flickered like nervous witnesses. Each mile I drove felt like peeling away another layer of weight that had lived on my shoulders for years. My phone buzzed again this time. Mom. Sar, don't be dramatic. Families fight, you'll regret this. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Regret. I thought of all the nights I skipped dinner just to cover their bills, the jobs I turned down because they needed me close, the endless silence I swallowed whenever they cut me down in front of others. If regret had a face, it wasn't mine, it was theirs. I pulled into a gas station, the neon humming in the night. Sitting there, I watched other families pass, laughter spilling from cars, tired parents holding kids half asleep.